Hey, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. So I'm going to be actually taking a video from our upper level program in Scale Mastery in the week 1 portion of that course, and I'm going to be putting it here on YouTube. I've never done this before. You can search the whole channel. I've never taken a Scale Mastery video and put it on here, but a ton of people have been asking, hey, what's Scale Mastery all about? What is it? And so I thought I would put a video. Obviously, Scale Mastery is a huge course, about 70 hours long, but this video talks about some very important topics. And if you guys are interested in potentially joining Scale Mastery and really taking your business to the next level, there'll be a link down below in the description where you can book a call with myself or one of my team members to potentially jump into Scale Mastery. It is invite only, but again, it's always worth a shot. So click that button down below to check out a free training of how to scale your business, as well as booking a call if you would like one. And with that being said, enjoy the Scale Mastery video. All right, guys, welcome back to the next video. This one's called How One Person Can Make $1 Million per Month. And it's funny because I'm in a couple business masterminds, and I've been lucky enough to know a lot of very successful people. And one of the masterminds I'm in is run by this guy named Alex Becker, who is probably worth about $35–40 million. Very, very successful guy. He's 30, 31. And I asked him, I was like, what's the difference between a 6-figure earner, a 7-figure earner, and an 8-figure earner? And Alex Becker is an 8-figure earner, obviously. And he made about $20 million from 2017 to 2019. From September 1st, 2017 to the end of September 2019. So that 2-year period he made, like I said, about basically $20 million, just under $20 million with one of his businesses. And he has another business that does not as much, but pretty strong numbers, okay? And so I asked him, I said, well, what's the difference? What's the difference between someone making $100,000 a month to making $1 million a month to making $10,000 a month? What's the difference? He said, Spencer, you remember the paradox of success? He's like, you can't win on raw talent. He's like, once you get past the 6-figure mark, you can't win on raw talent anymore. Like, everybody is as talented, if not more talented than you. And my response was like, yeah, I know that. Like, I get that. So how do you win? And he says, well, you have to optimize everything down to the 1%. And I didn't really know what that meant at the time. I was like, okay, like that sounds great on paper, but what does it mean, And so later on, I was studying this guy, John D Rockefeller. If you don't know who John D Rockefeller is, he is the all-time most successful self-made person, okay? In today's money, he would be worth, there's not an exact number, but around $600 billion. And obviously everyone's like, oh, that's a lot of money, but it's kind of comprehensible, okay? It's inconceivable, okay, the amount of money that is. So just to give you a comparison, the wealthiest person alive today is Jeff Bezos, and his net worth is $110 billion. So he's 6x'd Jeff Bezos, and Jeff Bezos is the founder of Amazon, okay, if you don't know who that is. But he's 6x'd Jeff Bezos. And there's a reason why he's the most successful self-made business person of all time. And I'm going to explain that. And in order for you to understand this, you need to kind of know a quick background on Rockefeller, okay? So Rockefeller started a company called Standard Oil. And Standard Oil would eventually go on to monopolize America's oil industry. In fact, many of the oil companies or the gas companies that you probably go to fill up your car, Shell, Mobil One, like not Mobil One, what's that company? I don't know. But a lot of the major gas companies are actually descendants of Standard Oil. They actually originally were Standard Oil. So you're probably wondering, how did he do it? Because he was completely self-made. He came from actually a pretty poor upbringing. But he started by going through his first small refineries processes. So in the I can't remember, I think it was the 1860s, or it might have been 1850s, I can't remember. But they discovered oil. It was the Pennsylvania Oil Rush. And he just happened to kind of live in that area, and he wanted to get into the business. Now, he did not want to go and drill for oil because he thought it was too risky. So he's like, well, we need to refine it to be able to use it. So he put together a small partnership with 3 other people and put together some money and started a small refinery. And then what he did was he went through that refinery's processes, okay, everything they did, from accepting the oil, how they accepted it, to how they transported the oil, to how they actually refined the oil, to what they did with the byproducts, like every possible conceivable process in that business. He went through and made it as efficient as possible by literally like the 0.00001%. That's how efficient he made it, okay? And if you think about it mathematically, if you optimize 50 processes by just 1%, if you're just 1% better than everybody else, you just given yourself a 50% advantage in business. This is why focus and sacrifice is so important. If you're on Instagram, checking your feed and checking Tinder and checking Facebook, you're not going to have the focus to go through 50 different processes and make them 1% better than everybody else. It's impossible. Your brain cannot comprehend that much. Okay. And so that's what he did. So he went around and he made basically every single process 1 to 3% better than everybody else until he had a 30, 40, 50% advantage. And to give you an example of like how crazy this guy was with this is a true life story that is in his biography, okay? Which, by the way, is called Titan. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. So his company, back in the day, they used barrels initially to transport the oil. And at the time, they were using 40 blobs of glue at the bottom of the barrel to secure the bottom of it, okay? And Rockefeller spent a week of his time testing that, and he realized that 38 dots of glue actually led to some barrels leaking. So that was too little, but 39 was perfect. So he actually was able to save himself 1 dot of glue. Now you're probably thinking like, was that really worth a week of your time? Okay. In the first month, it saved him $5,000. And over the span of his entire company, it saved him over $4 million. Okay. $4 million from saving 1 dot of glue. Okay. Think about that. How ridiculous that is. $4 million. And that's in 1900 money, like not even 2020 money. That's in 1900 money. Okay. So that's just one change that he did. And he did hundreds of these little things that would just make him more and more efficient. And so he got to a point where he was able to refine oil for basically half the cost of what his competitors had to pay to refine oil, because he was just so much more efficient. And he realized this. And what he did, he was a savage business person. But what he did was he took his books, his accounting, and showed how much it cost him to refine oil. And he brought it to his competitors and just put the book down and said, look at this. And they were shocked and very, very scared, because they're like, oh my God, this guy can refine oil for half of what I'm paying to refine oil. And then he said, you have 2 options. I'm going to buy the company from you. Okay, I'm going to give you a fair price. It's not going to be full price. I'm going to I'm going to give myself a discount. But I'm going to buy it from you, or I'm going to completely put you out of business, because I'm going to drop my price to where I break even and you lose 50%. Okay, and that's what he did. And in 1 year, he bought 23 oil refineries. Okay, it was like, I think 1860 something of this happened. It's very, very interesting. It's called the Pennsylvania Oil Massacre or something like that. And again, if they said no, he literally just dropped his prices to 50% to where he didn't make any money. He would just break even. In some cases, even lose money. But he knew that his competitor couldn't do that as long as he could. And this is one of the main factors that initially led to his company's success. He was just so focused and disciplined on tiny little details that he just out-optimized them. He just out-Rockefellered them. Okay, and that's what we're going to be covering in this program, is how to do that, how to out-optimize everybody, how to launch new campaigns that are just way more efficient than what everybody else is doing. So you can get way, way, way more deals. And obviously have a bigger business, okay? And again, in this program, we're going to cover those exact systems, those exact optimizations. Excuse me, I'm talking a little fast, okay? And these are the exact systems and optimizations we've used to get to 7 figures plus, 8 figures plus, okay? So it's not like we're just making these up. Like, this is tried and true, tested, amazing stuff, okay? But every system requires an architect, and it requires an engineer to design, build, and run the system. And guess who that engineer is? That's you. Okay, you're the engineer. You're the person, the guy or the gal that is designing and building the systems. And guess what? If you're not optimized to the 1%, the system you guys build will never be optimized to the 1%. How can it be? You're not optimized to the 1%. It's impossible, right? And so that's why we're focusing so much on all of this stuff, on optimizing ourselves to the 1%, okay? And so because of that, and then in the following few videos, we're going to be covering 5 major topics, okay, in the following 2 videos, okay? First, we're going to cover how to optimize your body. I know that sounds kind of strange, because what does that have to do with real estate? But I promise you, if you optimize your body, you're going to have much more energy. By having much more energy, you're going to be able to focus more. By being able to focus more, you're going to be able to optimize people and beat people in business, okay? So I'm going to show you guys how you can literally think sharper, how you can literally hack your body, give yourself more IQ, like factually more IQ. You can think clearer and have much more energy, okay? Second, we're going to cover optimizing your time, okay? As busy entrepreneurs, like sometimes we let our time get away from us. And it's very, very important that you remain focused and able to have a very optimized schedule. So we're going to cover that second, okay? Third, we're going to cover optimizing your focus. You can exponentially grow your company, okay? Focus is the magnifying glass that takes the sunlight and lights something on fire, okay? The sunlight's the energy, but you need that magnifying glass to focus everything in on one spot to really make it successful, and that's really, really important, okay? Fourth, we're going to cover optimizing your surroundings based on yourself and who you are / where you best fit. This is optimizing your work environment. So many people I know that work in they work in the loft in their house, and it's like there's no natural light, and there's just like rats running around. Probably not rats, but you know what I mean? It's just not a fun place to work, okay? It's very important that you optimize the environment that you're working in. And then finally, we're going to cover optimizing your actions for your purpose. Everybody has natural talents, natural purposes, natural things that they're gifted at, okay? And we're going to cover why this is so important and why you have to play to these strengths, okay? And again, guys, I get that to some of you guys, maybe a lot of you guys, you're like, this is like a little weird, right? Like, what does this have to do with real estate and business and growing my business? And I get it can be very, very hard to see the whole picture and how everything connects when you're inside of it. I totally understand. I've been in the same place as you guys are where I'm just like, what does any of this have to do with it? Okay? But I need you to promise me, okay? I need you to promise me, and in return, I'm going to promise you that everything we will cover has a direct ROI on your success. I'm not going to waste your time with BS, as I've said 17 times already. Everything I'm covering is very, very, very important, okay? So I need you to promise me that you're going to play all out, you're going to stay focused, okay? And again, guys, keep in mind, this is not coming from some random people. This is coming from multiple seven-figure earners. We know what it takes to win, okay? So all I ask is you make me a promise, you remove your skepticism if you have any, okay? And then you play quote-unquote all out, okay? I need you to play all out for me, okay? Which means give this program your all and follow all the steps we allow, no matter how silly or unrelated you think it is, because I promise you it ties in, and that's how you're going to get great results from this program. Okay? So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys watching this video. And next video, we're going to jump right into optimizing your body and optimizing your time.